Have you guys ever posted something or done something in the past that just wasn't really accurate anymore and makes you go like, what the heck were you thinking? Like this damn video?
Oh yeah! It's haircut time! Haircut time!
Lately I've been going back to a lot of posts, whether it's because Facebook memories are popping up, letting me know of what I did 3 years ago or what I posted 3 years ago. A lot of them just kind of make me go cringe, they're kind of trivial.
I got it!
But some of them are actually important topics that I talked about, whether it was rehab, my previous training, or things like that. And knowing what I know now, there's a lot that I would change in terms of how I portrayed those posts or the content that I put out. And even now, the things I put out now may change in a week or a month from now. And part of me just wants to like take that all down and start new, because like you were obviously an idiot, Clifton. Like, why are you saying stuff like that? Now, don't get me wrong, I'm not wrong about everything. There's obviously some nuance involved, but the point is, you know, things changed and we are wrong sometimes. There is this TED Talk that came out talking about being wrong, and it's basically about embracing that we are inherently wrong in a lot of things and accepting that and using it to fuel our growth. Even if it means challenging our prior beliefs and something that we really inherently believe in and kind of like live our lives on. Now, the problem with this is it's actually very hard to do. It's almost as if saying there's no answer, and it's very uncomfortable and uncertain. But all these posts about looking back aren't just to realize how wrong I was. I'm actually trying to learn from these experiences. In terms of my own training and even coaching others now, I'm constantly trying to look back to see how I can be better today, what I can learn from that experience. So in terms of my own training back in January, I pretty much cut the volume out of my program, and I was training about 1 time a week for squat and deadlift. Bench was pretty good. And I started pushing the intensity and symptoms kind of started ramping up. So I dialed it back again. Eventually I even cut back the frequency to 1/2 times a week. So I was squatting and deadlifting bi-weekly, and it just wasn't really getting anywhere. Like obviously I could put more weight on the bar and whatnot, but it was feeling progressively worse and I just wasn't comfortable with how I was feeling at the time. What I actually ended up doing was I was looking at some programming, and there was this program out there that was more rehab based, and they did squat, bench, deadlift 3 times a week with pretty much a lot of volume. Like I was doing 15s, 12s, and 10s with relatively low intensity. And my initial thought was, you know what, I need to take time away from these sensitive movements and just restart the rehab process. But I decided to give this a shot. Surprisingly, I was actually able to do a full month of basically 15s, 12s, and 10s on squat, bench, and deadlift 3 times a week. And moving forward from here, gonna try to transition back to heavier loads, but in essence it was very eye-opening to see a different perspective and do something else to help me facilitate this rehab process. And the only way to do that is to reevaluate and critically think about the things that I tried in the past, and really just looking back to see how I can feel my future training. And as I was undergoing this reflection process, I was thinking about where I was going to go from here. Like in my previous videos I said I want to do a meet in August called Bane Hoppers, that's in Edmonton. But you know, in light of the recent situation, which is kind of why I'm here now in terms of COVID-19, that meet may or may not happen in the future, and there's a lot of uncertainty around what's going on. But in these times, it really shows that, you know, shit happens, and whether we choose to believe it or not, things change. But like much else in life, we can learn to live with this uncertainty and still act upon what we do know now and what we can do now. We can focus on the things that we can control and practice being comfortable in uncertainty. Hey guys, thanks for tuning in to that video. That was actually a video I made a few months ago when I actually flew back home because school went online due to the situation of COVID-19. I never really got around to editing or uploading the video, maybe because I thought it was trash or this video sucks. But since I'm done school now and I've been kind of getting into a lot of other stuff, I've been meaning to kind of make some videos again. It kind of seems like a broken record at this point, because honestly it's been kind of hard to kind of do anything. Life has kind of bogged me down. There's been some stuff going on, nothing serious, but just stuff that really affects like my own mental health. And I know I talked about depression in the past in one of my older videos. I need to reevaluate myself and what I was doing and making sure it was okay.
because these small feelings of guilt manifested into a whole host of other problems and potentially really dangerous situations.
I'm so fat.
And it really does feel similar to that based on a multitude of things, but I'm not really here to talk about that now, maybe in a future video. But regardless, I'm here now, and yeah, that was basically a training update of what I've been up to in the past few months. And right now I basically pretty much finished 10 weeks of that training program out of 12 because I started getting some kind of symptoms that were noteworthy now, so I decided to pull back. And just this week I attempted to do some equip lifting because I was actually curious throughout the block if equipped training would actually help me feel better, if I could tolerate more load there. As you can see from my fresh battle scars, this idea was always on my head, but listening to the podcast that Bryce from Calgary Barbell did with the clinical athlete guys really just kind of made me, you know what, like, let's try it, why not? But yeah, it definitely hasn't been all sunshine and rainbows, and there's definitely always some type of discomfort every now and then, and honestly this might just be the new normal for me now. It's the new normal. I mean, we're going over new normals every day now with the situation going on, so I'm just gonna embrace that and do the best that I can day to day and just try to keep training. Otherwise, you know, I'm back in Edmonton. If you guys need anything, or if you guys want to hang out, we can do a social distance thing. Had people talking about the barbecue, and you know, it's probably too early to tell. I'm just gonna follow what the guidelines say. So we'll see what happens in August when we hear more information. In terms of my schooling, finished 2 years now. Online school was interesting to say the least, but yeah, life isn't very different, you know. Cut my own hair, why not? Alright guys, this is the new cuts. Tutorial coming at ya! Boom! Just kidding. Not bad. Just making a lot of beats, some songs. Maybe you guys can hear those, but they are really bad, but they're fun.
Water, salt, and yeast is all you need. Hope you're ready because you're gonna have to need.
But yeah guys, I'm still kicking it. I hope you are all safe and sound and staying healthy out there. And hopefully I'll get a chance to see you guys around. Let me know if you need anything, and I'll see you guys next time.